So, um, this is an additional part to the part that is addressed to Lady Erika Kirk and Lady Candace Owens on grieving. I'm not able to do a part three because I already um, started part two, saying it's part two of two, not knowing that the wizard is going to be mischievous and end part two before I can say all that I have to say. So this is just an additional part. And so the way they ended it, I believe it was on the notes of my experience in Hawaii. I passed a lady who was grieving, and um, also um, the fact that I came over to Florida and whatever it is that I was led to help me to know, so I would know how to comfort a widow or someone who lost a loved one, being led to something like that. So basically, shedding light on, like the whole reality that if you're not a widow, you may not be able to comfort a widow, right? You may not be able to understand the pain. And then also touching on the fact that, Charlie Kirk was this public figure, and um, he did stand for God or righteousness um, in many ways, but there other things that will show him also as an imperfect human being. And I mean, who's so perfect being a young person in the USA anyway? We all have to grow into the knowledge of God and into righteousness, and put on and put off. And so some people they're not sensitive to that, and so they're not so gracious or forgiving. And so he may have said some things, and they may not have agreed with it. And so you have death threats. Now, to be married to someone and they're experiencing death threats now, that's hard, right? So, and I'm not too sure if you experienced that, Lady Candace Owens, considering your stance when you were taking your stance, whatever your stance was concerning Israel. But your husband may know how hard that can be if you did experience death threats, right? So, Lady Erika Kirk, especially having children, knowing that the father, the your children's dad can and your husband can just pass away, and your children will miss out on that, having their dad at home. That can be hard. So just being sensitive to the type of cross that Lady Kirk um, had to carry going through that, can help us to be also sensitive to her grieving process. Um, Also, would like to touch on that, on this, that you, Lady Candace Owens, definitely you would agree with this, that you were upset the way he passed away, and so um, I noticed though that, especially with the whole appointing of Lady Kirk as CEO of Turning Point USA, um, things that you said on that matter helps me to know that I don't believe you hate Lady Erika Kirk. With all this carrying on, I don't believe you hate her. It's just an emotional time for the both of you, and the both of you are processing grief differently. Um, and then for you, Lady Kirk, to just understand the whole fact that Lady Candace Owens, she went through a lot um, in her youthful days, and all that she went through helped her to develop and become the strong person with the strength of the Lord. So instead of being emotional on some things, which she's still a human being, she may be more like, let's get to the bottom of this kind of attitude. Um, and then there is something you said, Lady Candace Owens, about Lady Erika Kirk crying. And I just wanted to say, I don't believe that with the tears that Lady Kirk is shedding, that she's trying to make you feel guilty for investigating.